Okay, we have a problem in physics in momentum, and this is a elastic collision between two masses, each traveling at a certain velocity and colliding somewhere in the center. We have then the collision, and then we have two velocities, after velocities, v prime 1, v prime 2, going in the opposite direction after the collision. Now, one thing we can say about this type of collision, it is conservative. The momentum is conserved, and also the kinetic energy is conserved too. So we want to solve this problem. We want to find v1 prime and v2 prime. So how do we do that? Well, if we look at the equation, this is the equation that we need to solve. Okay, m1 v1 m plus m2 v2 equals m1 v1 prime plus m2 v2 prime. Okay, we have two variables. So let's take a look at that a little closer, and we have our values also here for the problem. So we have m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is going to be equal m1 v prime 1 plus m2 v2 prime. So we need to solve for v2 prime and v1 prime. So to do that, we have two variables, so we need two equations. So what are those two equations? Okay, well, there they are. We have the momentum in is equal to the final momentum, okay? And the kinetic energy, each term with kinetic energy is equal to the kinetic energy in to the kinetic energy out. So to solve this problem, we have to take these two equations, and we can do it either way. We have to solve for either v1 prime or v2 prime, and we get an expression that we will use substitution to put into the second equation. Okay, when you do that, and it's a long algebraic process, there's probably better ways to do it, but this is the most simplistic way. If you had to remember, if you were doing a test and you didn't remember the equations, this way is you should not make a mistake, hopefully, but in the algebra as you do it, because there's a lot of algebra here. But when you do this, then this is what you get right here. Okay, you get what v prime 1 is equal to and what v prime 2 is equal to. And all you do is plug in the values here, and you'll get those two answers. So in this case, we have v prime 1 is equal to negative 19.4 meters per second, and our v2 is equal to 25.6 meters per second. Okay, so we answered these final velocities, v prime 1, v prime 2, and the negative means it's going in a different direction. Now, we are been given our initial v1 was heading to the right, and v2 was heading to the left that way. And so then our answer is exactly the opposite. Now v2 is heading towards the left after the collision, and v1 is v2 prime is heading in the right condition. So v1 prime sorry, right there. So let me just adjust this up a little bit higher here, so everybody can see that. Okay. So we have V prime 1 is now equal to negative 19.4 meters per second, and V2 prime is going to be equal to 25.6 meters per second. So they've changed direction, and we have their velocities. And that's how you figure out elastic collisions. Remember, momentum is always conserved, and so is kinetic energy conserved in elastic collisions. Thank you.